Peace be with you. This is an explanation of the Gospel text for the 20th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year A. Let me read the Gospel text first for you, and then both of us will go through the text, understanding the text itself. And of course, at the end, we'll relate it to the first reading. From the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus went away from there and withdrew to the district of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a Canaanite woman from that region came out and cried, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. My daughter is severely possessed by a demon." But he did not answer her a word. And his disciples came and begged him, saying, "Send her away, for she is crying after us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." But she came and knelt before him, saying, "Lord, please help me." And he answered, "It is not fair to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Yes, Lord. Yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered her, "Woman, great is your faith. Be done for you as you desire." And her daughter was healed instantly. I will explain the text in a question-answer format. The first question is, what is the geographical setting of this incident? This incident takes place in the district of Tyre and Sidon. It's a Gentile, a pagan territory. Jesus is in this area of Tyre and Sidon. This woman is a Canaanite. So second question is, who is a Canaanite? Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham and Japheth. The descendants of Shem, and Abraham is one of them, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. The descendants of Shem are called Semites. Therefore sometimes the Israelites, the Jews are also called Semites. Then we have the second son whose name was Ham. Ham's son was Canaan. The children of Canaan are called Canaanites. The son of Canaan is Sidon. That is this area called Sidon, where most probably the children of Sidon settled down there. So we know now this area of Sidon, who lived there, and who are the Canaanites. But something more about the Canaanites. The Canaanites were living in the Holy Land or the Promised Land before Joshua came with the people of Israel inside. They waged battle against the Canaanites and won most of the battles or all the battles, and they occupied that place. But not the whole land was won over by Joshua. Later on it will be conquered by David later on. So the Canaanites and the Israelites coexisted together. But because of these battles, the Canaanites hated the Israelites hated the Canaanites. But more than that, it's not that they were just enemies. The Israelites despised the Canaanites because of their pagan worship, because of their idolatry, because of their immorality. And even what the Canaanites were doing, they were offering their children as an offering to the demons. And we'll find a mention of all this in the Old Testament. Read Wisdom chapter 12 and we'll find all their morally depraved acts mentioned in the book of Wisdom. Third question. What is the meaning of the greeting of this Canaanite woman? She says, "Have mercy on me, Lord, Son of David." So she is a pagan, she is a Canaanite, she is not an Israelite, and yet she looks at Jesus and addresses him as Lord. Lord means God, and also knows that he is from the line of David, Son of David. This type of honor, even the Jews did not give Jesus, and this pagan lady is giving Jesus, and so-called enemy of an Israelite. Fourth question. How does Jesus respond to this extraordinary plea and this honor that this woman gives him? Shockingly, he just ignores her. So the question is, why is Jesus ignoring her? We'll come to that later. Question 5. What are the apostles suggesting to Jesus? Although Jesus is ignoring her, the apostles are not ignoring. They are telling Jesus, please send her away. Maybe they are embarrassed. She is a woman, Jesus is a man. In those times, women and men, or woman and a man, they did not speak to each other in public. In addition to that, Israelites and Canaanites, they don't get along. Israelites just despise Canaanite women and men. So because of that, maybe the apostles are saying, please send her away. Whatever. So if Jesus is silent, the apostles go one step further. They just want to dismiss her. So what is Jesus saying? Jesus' answer is not silent this time. He responds not to the woman but to the apostles. He says, I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now this is something which is not making sense. They are telling him, send her away, and Jesus should have said, okay, I will send her away. Or he should have told the apostles, just like how I am, you also be silent, just ignore her, she will go. But Jesus doesn't say that. He is giving them a teaching. He is explaining to them his mission, that I have been sent to the lost sheep of Israel to get the people of Abraham back. Next question. What is the meaning of the response of Jesus? What does he mean when he says, I have come to collect the lost sheep of the house of Israel? During his lifetime, Jesus was largely in the Jewish territory. He did venture into the non-Jewish territory, and he did encounter non-Jewish pagan people, worked miracles, but that is, you can count the healings on your fingertip. Most of the time he was in the Jewish territory, working with the Jews, and the reason is because they were the chosen people. Jesus was sent primarily for them, but later on a time will come when Jesus will say to his apostles, go to all the nations and baptize them. But till that time, and that is passion, death and resurrection, Jesus is limiting his ministry to the Jews. How does the woman respond to Jesus now? First of all, Jesus was silent. Now he is saying that he has come only for the lost sheep of Israel. She would have got dejected, very sad, and she should have left. But no, in spite of being ignored, in spite of not getting any attention, she does not go away. She persists. And what is that? She not only calls him a human being, ordinary title, but calls him Lord. So you can imagine, here is Jesus ignoring her, not giving what she wants, and yet she calls him God. This is something exemplary. She calls him Lord, please help me. Not just that, she even does proskuneo, means she worships Jesus. You remember this word I had explained in the last Sunday. The apostles in the boat, when they realized that Jesus has calmed the storm, has walked on water and claimed to be I am, which is a title for God, they know that he is God, and then they begin worshipping him. This woman is a Canaanite. She addresses Jesus as Lord, and then she worships him. Jesus still doesn't do anything. He doesn't give her. And what does Jesus say? Very insulting. He says, it's not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs. Now this sounds very insolent. But the question is, would Jesus insult anybody? He is a person who is so gentle, so meek. So how will he insult? Especially when this woman is persisting, especially when this woman is calling her God, Lord, and when she is worshipping him. How can God call somebody a dog? So, an explanation is required. It is not possible that Jesus is calling her a dog, the way we understand a dog, in a negative, pejorative meaning. So, what is the answer? One good explanation is that Jesus is not calling her a dog, but Jesus is simply stating a fact which happens in the house where there are dogs. If you have a dog in your house, you will not take the food of your child and give it to the dog and let your child starve. This is a fact. So Jesus is not calling that woman a dog, but is stating a fact. I cannot give what belongs to the children to you. Means just like a householder does not take the food from the plate of a child and gives it to a dog, and which of us will not understand the meaning of this? Similarly, Jesus is telling that lady, you are not from the chosen race. I have come to give salvation to the chosen race. Your time will come. Later on, not now. Now, let me take care of the Jews. So next question. How does the woman respond? She refuses to budge. She is focused. I want healing for my daughter. Whether you say yes or no, I am not going to leave you. And not only that, she outwits Jesus. She says, even the dogs can eat the crumbs. In other words, what is she saying? Keep the bread for the Jews. For me, even a crumb will suffice. Even a crumb. What a deep meaning it has. Even a crumb will suffice, Jesus. Just give me a crumb. I don't want the bread. Keep the bread for them. This is the faith of the lady. How can we correlate this whole text to the first reading of today? Of course, before that, Jesus heals the woman's daughter, and she goes away and she experiences salvation. But how do we correlate this with the first reading of today? How does this incident fulfill the promise in the Old Testament? There is a famous prophecy from the book of Isaiah about the conversion of the Gentiles. In the Old Testament, we can recall from the book of Genesis how God tells Abraham that all nations will be blessed through him. And we'll see this being fulfilled now. Let me read the text for you. Keep justice and do righteousness, for soon my salvation will come and my deliverance will be revealed. And then the foreigners who join themselves to the Lord to minister to him, to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone who keeps the Sabbath and holds fast my covenant, these I will bring to my holy mountain, the temple of Jerusalem. So what is Isaiah prophesying? That a time will come when all will come to the temple. All will come to worship God. And not only all will come, they will minister, they will be priests. Earlier, who were allowed to be priests? Only the Jews from the tribe of Levi. Now, all will minister. So what is Isaiah talking about? He is telling that the Gentiles were excluded from the temple. Eventually a day will come when they will be included in the temple worship. The true worship, they will worship God. And so what we see is the fulfillment of the prophecy of Isaiah. Jesus now opening slowly. Canaanite woman, and later on after his resurrection, all nations will come. So the prophecy made by Isaiah in the first reading of today is fulfilled when Jesus commissions his apostles. Go, baptize them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Some questions for our reflection. Do you persist in prayer when God is silent like the Canaanite woman? Second question. Did God ever delay in answering your prayer? In hindsight, what do you think could be the reason? What answer does God give Daniel when the answer to the prayer of Daniel is delayed? Third question. Can I persist in believing that God is compassionate, that he will answer my prayer one day? All that he's doing is delaying for my good. Fourth question. The love of a daughter made the mother persist for healing. What steps do I need to take to grow in my persistence in my prayer life? Fifth question. Who in your life is a model of this persistent prayer? And finally, although the answer to the prayer gets delayed, the woman is not ready to change her idea that Jesus really can work that miracle for her. She is not ready to accept it. She wants the healing. Similarly, you believe that Jesus is compassionate. He will heal you. He will give you. But does the delay make you change your idea that God is really not good? Or do you believe till the end that Jesus is good, He will bring about healing, He will answer your prayer. God bless you.